Hello everyone, welcome back to Shadowgraph. In today's how-to video, we're going to talk about how street photography can inspire and help your cinematic process. So let's get into it. For this how-to video, we are going to be using our latest film that we have published, Ukraine Dreams, as an example of how to use street photography as part of the cinematic process. Now, I come from a photography background and I'm quite used to being on the street with a small camera and kind of blocking out my space around people, as if I'm doing choreography with a dance move. So I'm observing the space around me and I'm thinking about different ways to move with my body and camera and how the action of my movement might affect the psychology of movement of other people. You may also want to be hidden from the view of people, so that people walk into your shot with kind of like an element of surprise. I'm going to play one clip from the Ukraine film. It's a super slow motion clip where people have come down from the escalator, they're coming round a corner, and so the wall, like there's a pillar of the wall there, I'm here with the camera and the people are walking this way. So when they're walking out, they can't see me. And what happened is they walk around the corner and the effect this gives is that they're kind of walking straight towards the lens. I'm using a slow motion mode and the camera has in a way stayed completely hidden. So it means their reactions also stay very natural because they're walking around the corner in a way that they would on a day-to-day basis without thinking that there's going to be a camera there. And the camera is able to capture the first kind of, 3-5 seconds of them being unaware. And if you time this, drop my pen. If you time this with like a slow motion shot on your camera, you can bring time really slowly down and kind of see people within their own worlds and movements, and you don't feel so much the presence of the camera. What this shot also does that's quite interesting is I think it splits these two modes down the middle. So the first half of the shot is them kind of walking around the corner, not expecting the camera, being in their everyday kind of psychology of their bodies and their space. And then the second half is they start to realize the camera's there and they kind of look up at it. And it's a bit like, what is that thing doing there? Why is it there? But what it does footage-wise is it's given me an amazing range of faces and people, and there's movement. I'm looking at this in terms of like a kind of movement piece. I'm seeing people cross from the left side of the frame to the right. I know that if I stay there, there's going to be a repetition of movement because it's an underground station and trains arrive, people go up the escalators, they come around the corner, the same motion happens again and again and again. And if you're there in rush hour, then you just have this overwhelming cocktail of faces and people and cultures. So it's quite an amazing thing to kind of think in a street photography way when you're out filming. How can you use the elements of the street, of the urban fabric, or whatever the environment is that you're filming in? How can you use them to your advantage? Think about things in terms of the fact that they repeat themselves. There's repeated actions that people might do in a certain space. Say, for example, I had a student of mine who was going to Japan and she was talking about climbing up a mountain. And she was asking, how could I get this kind of like a cinematic feeling of what people were doing? And I told her, find things that you can focus on where you know people will do the same things over and over again. If there's a bridge, the bridge will have a succession of people that will be crossing it, tourists, climbers, and you know that after observing the bridge for a little bit, you're going to see people put their hands on the side railing perhaps, and they probably do the same action over and over again. Different people will do the same things. So when you go and you make your film, be chilled, be relaxed. Probably my favorite motto at the moment, just take a breath and chill. There is this feeling sometimes with filmmaking where you think, oh, I'm gonna miss everything and it's all happening and I have to be there and there and there. Sometimes it's really cool to be chill. Observe what's happening around you as if you're a street photographer. Look at those moments, look for repetitions, and then find places with your camera to hone in and to get the best cinematic footage possible. That's all for this episode. I hope you found the concept of street photography in your filmmaking practice interesting. Hit the subscribe button, do tune in next time, and see you again.